Welcome to At the Bell with Derek Poppet Roland. Today's special guest is a former two-time middleweight champion. Can I get a round of applause for Mr. Glenwood, the Beast Brown?
The real beast, bro. The real beast. The real
Mr.
beast.
Brown, the real beast. Mr. Brown, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
man.
good.
I'm glad you decided to come out, man, and sit down and talk about it, man. A lot of guys been asking about you, man. Where's Glenwood Brown? Where's Glenwood Brown? He was a good fighter. Every time I see somebody not from Jersey, I always talk about Jersey fighters. Want to know about you, man. Tell me what you been doing.
You know what? I just been relaxing, enjoying my family, and I'm training some fighters, and I'm just having a good time. I'm having a good time.
And you got a lot of accomplishments in fights, man. What are some of the accomplishments you got, man?
Well, I won the super middleweight IBO world belt. I won the WBA world belt. And I won some small belts, WBA American belts, ESPN belt, won those type of titles. But I'm enjoying myself. I'm really enjoying myself.
You know, you put a lot of accomplishments, man. A lot of people enjoy watching you coming up, man. You had a lot of big fights, a lot of great fights for a lot of good fighters. You know, I remember some big names that you fought, man.
Yeah,
some of the
well,
big
I fought Meldrick Teller. When I fought Meldrick Teller, you know, everybody know that I beat Meldrick at his hometown.
I remember he got a hometown decision.
Yeah, he got a hometown decision. I fought Sal Manby. That was a tough fight. I fought Sal Manby.
Fought Sal Manby twice, though, right?
Yes, I fought Sal Manby twice. I lost to him the first time, and the second time I beat him. When I beat him the second time, I fought him for WBA American title and the ESPN title when I fought Sal Manby.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. How old were you when you started? When did you start boxing?
I was 18 years old. I fought in the
not professionally when you started boxing.
Oh, when I started boxing, wow, I was 7 years old.
7 years old.
Yeah, my dad took me to Plainfield High School boxing, and he took me to a show, and I went. I was in love with it. And I decided to join up with boxing, so I went down.
Old, you already knew you wanted to do that, huh?
God, John Davenport was a hell of a trainer, man. I mean,
yeah,
he made rest in peace, boy.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
He did wonders for me.
And then, what kind of amateur titles did you get?
Oh golly, I mean, me and you went together overseas and fought together.
Yeah, that was good over in Sweden.
I fought for the U.S. I mean, every time I fought for USA. But I won some good titles through the amateurs. After the amateurs, I decided to say, you know what, it's time for me to go pro.
I remember you won the New York Golden Gloves after the finals in New Jersey Golden Gloves. And
yes,
you went over to New York.
Well, you forgot. Make sure you let everybody know. The one and only, only guy.
I'm going to give you one title you have, man, that I got to give it to you because nobody else ever had it. As far as New Jersey goes, you are the only fighter in New Jersey to ever beat me. But I want to tell you something. I had a cast on my hand for 6 weeks. I took it off on Wednesday and fought you on Friday. So don't get too big on yourself, all right?
So that's why you lost?
You know, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people still think I won that title. I mean, they still talking about
for
that
who,
fight.
Me?
Yeah.
I would give you a rematch anytime.
Yeah, your trainer wouldn't give you a rematch back then, man. But it's good. You turned out good. You had an excellent professional career. I enjoy watching you fight, even though I thought I should have got that decision. I didn't hold that against you. I still say Glenwood looked good. And Glenwood did good. I had to give you that. Turning professional, you turned pro before me, but you were really representing New Jersey very well. So I got to give you that. Well, you know, my show really is... I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
No, I was going to say, well, when I turned pro, I mean, was 18-0, maybe 18-0 when I had my first loss. And after my first loss, I started fighting more top 10 fighters. So then that's when it was time to go. And I mean, I fought, Meldrick Teller, Maurice Blocker, Simon Brown, Vinny Pazienzo.
Oh, yeah,
I fought some top
Simon
guys.
Brown, Vinny, they have some big names, yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't in there just fighting bums. When I fought, and I fought some good guys.
You wanna know what's really ironic, man? You know, when I know fight, you lost your 19th fight. I was 18-0. And I fought Joe Lipsy in his hometown.
Really?
He was 19-0.
Really?
And I lost my first fight at my 19th fight also. Isn't that a coincidence?
Wow.
But I represented for New Jersey as well, man. New Jersey has some good fighters. and you were one of them, and a lot of other names that we plan on bringing into the show and discussing what we're doing. And what I was about to say was the show is about At the Bell with Derek Roland, but the spin on it is that At the Bell is when you hear that final bell, when boxing is over, and now it's no more for us to do. What happens to us? What did we do? You're a 7-year-old kid that started fighting at the age 7. Your whole life invested into a sport, and now you're at whatever age you were, that is over. No more boxing for you. What was that like?
It was hard. Tell you the truth, what ended my career, I had a head-on collision car accident. I was ready to go to Paris to fight for a world title belt, and I was in training camp upstate New York, and a lady crossed lanes, fell asleep under the wheel, hit me head on. I broke my neck, I broke my back, and I cracked my sternum. I was in a body cast for 9 months. Wow. I never did get to see my daughter born because, I never get to hold her. I seen her born, but I never get to hold her when she was born. That basically ended my career. You know, after that, the doctor told me that I had a choice to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life or could try to box. So I decided, talking to my family and stuff, that, you know, that it's time for me to give it up. And I tell you, it was the hardest thing in my life what I had to do. But you know what? After that, I decided, you know what, I want to fight again. So I came back, and that's when I fought for the IBO world belt. And after that title, I had to retire.
You know, it's something when you say that. Even people wouldn't understand fighters to say that. If a doctor tell you you got a choice, you know, if you fight again, you might be in a body cast the rest of your life, and you still say that's a hard decision. That's how crazy we are as fighters. That's a hard decision.
You know, as a fighter, you know, no matter who tells you that you can't do it, you're going to say you can do it. And it's like nothing's going to stop you. You're going to do what you're going to do. Like saying, when I stopped boxing because I had the accident, when I started training, I was 250 pounds. And I went back to the gym, and I got down to 168 when I fought for that title. Wow. And I tell you, I felt so good, but my body didn't feel good afterwards. Afterwards, you know, I had to think, and I was in pain. I was in pain, and it was time to give it up.
It took a crazy man. Like they say, we all got to be crazy. It took a crazy man to have a car accident like that and go back. Vinny Paz ended the same way. He went through some injuries and stuff. You remember seeing him on the news with the neck brace and everything. And then he went back to fighting. I guess it's just something in the champions, or the champion mentality, or the heart that we have. You know. So we got boxing today. We got a lot of other guys. A lot of people thinking about coming back. What do you think about some of these guys that's trying to come back?
I mean, you look at, Holyfield. He was a great heavyweight. Mike Tyson, great heavyweight. Roy Jones, all different weight classes, but he was great too. I think, you know, like me and you was talking earlier. I was thinking about making a comeback, and it's not for the money. Because I'm well taken care of. It's just, as a fighter, you know, it's like boxing is in my blood. Right. You know, as you know, boxing is in your blood, and you know, and I'm always want to get in the ring, and I want to do stuff, and I mean, but then you got to look at it, you know, what that one punch do, you know, because that's all it takes is one punch.
Yeah. Well, you did very good. You say you're doing very good with your life now. What are you doing?
Right now I'm taking it easy, raising a family, but I teach boxing. I mean, I got like maybe 14 guys. I got 3 guys that's ready to turn pro, that's already pro, but I got a lot of amateurs and a lot of kids come and go. But my thing is when I'm teaching, that's school for me. That's school.
Make your heart feel like
I mean, because it makes me want to get back in the ring, because when the kids come in the gym and you know they tell me that, you know, are you slow now? You big now? Yo, hey, I get gloved up. And I mean, I get in the ring. I say, come on, let's go.
I used to do that, man, with one eye. Believe it or not.
Hey,
I used to do it with one eye and a bad eye.
Because boxing is in your blood.
Yeah,
boxing is in you.
It's like that, and it used to be difficult for me to even be in the gym and not get in that ring. You know, I just started being. To be honest, very recently I started saying, "Nah, I ain't getting in there.
Well,
I ain't getting in there."
I tell you the truth. When I stopped boxing, when a doctor had me to stop for good, I wouldn't watch boxing at all. I tell you, no lie. My wife would tell you. I wouldn't watch boxing for almost over a whole year. I would not. I mean, boxing was coming on TV. I wouldn't watch it because I was that mad. I was that mad because I wanted to. I felt that I wasn't only in my 30s, and I felt that I could still do it.
Yeah, especially if you see some guys that you feel like you could have beat.
Yes.
And the money they making now, we wasn't making.
God, you look at the guys that they got out fighting now. I mean, right now, I want to get in the ring now. I mean, come on,
yeah,
but it is what it is. You know, I mean, I loved boxing. I enjoyed boxing, and I mean, if I had to do it again, I mean,
one of the things I ask for anyone that comes on is like the character that you've learned from the boxing game from such a young age. Did that help you in terms of after it was over, in terms of being able to move on and go into another area of life or working?
It was hard because, like I said, I never worked since I turned pro at 18 years old. I never worked, never had a job. When I had the car accident, I wasn't boxing for years, so I had to look to get a job, and I did. I went to get a job, but I tell you, I mean, it was difficult because I'm like, wow, what do I do? Right. I mean, right. You know, we signed a contract. You know, we signed it for money now.
That's it.
But now, you know, I had to go out and I had to really learn how to work. I never worked ever in my life until I had the accident.
Wow.
And it was a life change. It really was a life change.
Yeah, I can imagine that right there because I similar was like that. Other than my mother and them instilling in me some work ethic, where you know I was like a little hustler, man. You know, I sold shoes, ladies' shoes. I sold hair. I sold whatever I had to do to make it happen. You know,
right?
So, you know, but I understand how that could be. Now I got to get a job because for me, I had to get a job from fighting to a security guard, you know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. When
you fought me,
oh, you gonna keep me back to that?
Did I hurt you?
All right, no, you didn't hurt me. You know, you first
guy. Bobby, let me tell you something.
First guy ever knocked me down. First guy ever knocked me down.
I had so much respect for you. I tell you, and I'm not afraid to say it. I respect you. I was kind of afraid of you because you fought Davey Franco, and you beat him good. Mm-hmm. And I saw that fight, and I said, you know what? I want that fight. But when I had so much respect with you because every time everybody was scared to fight you. Mm-hmm. Everybody was scared because you was from Elizabeth, I was from Plainfield, and your name was hot. Your name was hot.
Yeah. Those was the days. I remember those.
I miss them. But let
me tell you what I did. You know, not talking about the hand breaking my hand, but the reason I had to fight you was because I tried to sneak in the Golden Gloves at 15, and they found out. So as soon as I get 16, I breaks my hand. And so, you know, and I remember my father, you know, he's never missed a fight, but I told him I was going to the fights to watch. So he went and did his thing. You know, he was a little hustler, a little gambling spot. And when we fought right there, I had a little cut under my lip. I had to get stitches. So when we left the fights, I had to go to the emergency room. They had to contact my father. Oh man, he was so hot. Meet me at the emergency room. Like, you wasn't supposed to fight. Or, you know, the half English, half Spanish thing was like Ricky Ricardo. He was funny. But he got on me real bad, man. And a lot of people talks about that fight, man, with me and you, man. And,
it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. I mean, like I was saying, you was a hell of a champ yourself. I mean, like I was saying, me and you, we rode together in the amateur all the time. I mean, we fought against the USA, against different states and countries and stuff. And you had your stuff together. You had
the
your
thing
stuff
that
together.
made me happy about it when you came down last week, I was like, you know what, man, I never really got to sit down and talk with him. Like, this kind of like the first time after our fight to really sit and talk. You know, I mean, we talk a little bit as we travel, but I'm talking about to really sit down and have some real thing, get to know you a little bit. You turned out to be a really good guy. That I didn't know that about you in terms of, you know, how good you talking and speaking. You know, I didn't know you're a good guy. Good guy, sounds good. One of the other things that I meant to make sure I brought up with you was when you, when the boxing was over and you started getting business, your children, you got family, anybody?
Oh, God,
did you want to put...
I got 6 kids, man, 3 boys, 3 girls. My last son have Down syndrome. He's 24 years old now. Wow. He's my heart. I mean, all my other kids.
Must be hard. Difficult.
Yeah, all my other kids is my oldest son is a correction officer. My 3 daughters, well, besides my 2 daughters is a nurse, and my other daughter works on the computer at home all the time. My kids are doing good.
They're pretty good.
My wife, she's a nurse. I tell you, life,
sounds like you've been blessed.
Life is good. Life is really good. I mean, I'm living life. You know, we travel, we go different places.
So don't go back in the ring. You don't need to go.
Nah, I'm not gonna go back in the ring. I get back in the ring with the kids.
Why we didn't get a Glenwood Brown Jr. coming up fighting?
Well, my daughter wanted to fight. And I mean, she's a toughie too. I mean, me and her mess around, we box and we do stuff like that. But you know, I thought about it and I said, nah. I said, I can't let her do it. I mean, she wanted to, but I said, nah. My sons, they you know, dad, you know, because when I first started boxing, I got my nose broke the first time. Oh, wow. I mean, I tell you who did it, Harold Knight.
Oh, wow.
Harold Knight. Harold the Shadow Knight. Harold the Shadow Knight.
He's another good Jersey champion.
He didn't know that when I sparring with him in the gym, he hit me in my nose. He broke my nose. I had to go to the doctor, get it replaced, and you know, get it put back in place and stuff. But wow.
Let me share this history with you with my broken nose that I got. You know, only one time that we had it set. I remember this so clearly, like yesterday. It was on a Friday evening, and my mother made my father take me to the doctor, and the doctor said, you know, well, you got 2 choices. He said, I could put you in the hospital Monday. You come in Monday morning. I'll put you to sleep. I'll fix your nose. And you go home. You wake up in the afternoon, you go home. It's no problem. He said, or I could fix it right now in the doctor's office, but it's going to hurt.
Right.
And before I get a chance to respond, you know, my father with his Puerto Rican and his Spanish English mix-up comes in. No. He always talking about He-Man. He said, He-Man, fix it right now. Fix it right now. I was so bad at him, man. Because when they strapped me to that table and stuck that thing up my nose, and
wow.
Man, I was like, oh, this man made him fix it right here. Wow. But he always said, you know, when you're 13, 14 years old, you start saying, I'm a man, you know. And he said,
it's so crazy because, you know, I shouldn't even be here right now. Because I remember one time when we was an amateur, me and Adam, we was upstate New York. And we Adam Garland.
Oh,
he's
wow.
another guy from Plainfield.
Yeah.
We was going away to fight in Canada. Mm-hmm. And we went swimming. I went off the diving board. And, you know, Davey Franco was there. And I did a front flip. I landed face first. I knocked myself out. I was underwater for 20 minutes before they found me. Wow. Some guy dove in, got me out, brought me out. Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital. Stayed in the hospital for like 30 days, and I mean, pumping water out of me, and I mean, I don't know. I'm having.
There's a God over you.
Somebody's watching me. Somebody's watching me.
I got to say, I say that so much, man. That you know, I feel the same way. Like, you know, somebody been looking out for me. You know.
And I think somebody put me here for a reason. Mm-hmm. Somebody put me here for a reason. I mean, I love boxing. I'm going to continue on teaching kids. I still have people send me autographs. You know, I sign it, send it back to them. All over the world, I'm still getting autographs, signing.
Wow,
and so that tells me that my name went somewhere in boxing.
You did something.
You know, I mean, I got inducted in 2005 Boxing Hall of Fame.
Okay, New Jersey?
In New Jersey,
okay.
Boxing Hall of Fame. So I won the Joe Louis Rookie of the Year in 2001. I won that. So I mean, I had a good career.
Yeah,
I had a good career.
And looks like you're doing good, man. Better probably that, you know, I don't know how much how you did financially, but you look like you're doing better than even if you would have made millions and millions of dollars. You did well, getting off your speech very well. You know, very good. God's been blessing you, and I'm gonna thank you anyway for the kids you helping these youth. There's nothing in the world better than that. You know, there was a saying that I heard today. I meant to remind myself of that saying. I think it came from, but it said the happiest people is the one that does the most for other people.
Yes.
And that was the saying that came from a famous African American person. I'm so mad at myself that I can't remember it. I'll remember for the audience
but
next
you
time.
got to remember, you know, when I came up, the trainer John Davenport never charged us a dime to train us. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, I'm giving back what was given to me.
I say that all the time. Absolutely.
No.
The Clarence Devine, the Ron Gibsons, Jackie Pughes, Chapman. There was a young man, my brother, used to always be around Chap all the time. Avery, the cop Avery from Elizabeth. You know, Chapman was Edgar Chaplin. He was also in that mix. Don Givens was in that mix. You know, it was just so many other people from Elizabeth that contribute to being around Elizabeth, helping the fighters. And Davenport was a big contribution. Eddie Johnson. We just got so many people that we have to give thanks to. And in order to give them their thanks is to give back to the kids.
Right, absolutely. You know? Absolutely.
Well, listen, what would you say to the fighters that's coming up, the young fighters? What would you think would be good advice you would give to them? What would you give to a young Glenwood Brown right now? What would you say to a young Glenwood Brown coming up?
Well, first of all, you gotta train, respect yourself and everyone else. Go out there and take what you want. When I say take what you want, there was one thing that from myself that I learned, and I learned it late in life. When I started boxing, I was only running a little bit. You have to put all into what you do, because if you don't put all into it, you're not going to get nothing out of it. You have to put all into it.
Yeah, definitely, man. If you're not going to give it your all, this is not a sport to come
No, it's not.
With. So these fights we got today, man, what do you think about today's fighters, man? Big fights coming up, man. What about the fight coming up next month with Deontay Wilder and Fury 3?
Well, God, I mean, you gotta look at it. I mean, those fights. I mean, Deontay Wilder is a hell of a fighter. Fury is a tough fighter. Wow. When I saw both of the fights and stuff, and I mean, these guys, they were banging. I just think if Deontay, if he basically those straight punches and I mean, come on, you see how he was throwing his punches. Everything was like haymakers. And I mean, you know, Fury, that's what Fury capitalized on it, you know.
I was surprised with Fury, man. He boxed him good. He got the long jab.
He was in shape. He was in shape.
I was very surprised at the first fight that he was able to do as good as he did against Wilder.
Yep.
I agree with you. Wilder was there looking for the knockout.
He was the whole time. The whole time.
Yeah, the name of the game is boxing. We always got to be
boxing.
And
that was my problem a little bit in my career. I tell you, when I fought Maurice Blocker, because I was trying to knock him out. So trying to knock him out, I'm like throwing wide punches instead of just taking my time and just, you know, jab, throw the right hand, left hook and stuff. I was throwing overhand rights and saying, and this is what I mean about the young fighters now. They have to look and look at old fighters, and I'm not saying we're old, but look at some of us and see how we did and the mistakes we did where they got to capitalize on that mistake.
The second fight, man, I just think that wasn't Deontay Wilder.
It wasn't. I mean,
he definitely didn't look nothing like what he's done, you know. And Fury beat him up really bad.
Yes,
I was sad watching that. Thankfully, Mark Breland, though, for stopping it. I know he was getting some criticized about that, but I'm glad Mark Breland stepped in.
I think a good trainer knows when his fighter is beaten.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game is boxing, because your trainer knows when to stop that fight.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of guys or the crowd, you know, of course the crowd going to boo it and all that stuff, but you're not the one in there taking those punches.
No,
you know?
they do with all that, and you're right. You got to have the right trainer that cares about you.
Yep.
One of the fighters that I have to give big credit to that did that all the time was Buddy McGirt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Buddy McGirt, you know.
You know, I wanted to fight him so bad. Oh God, I'm telling you, I wanted to fight
fighter,
him.
He was a heck of a fighter.
Because we both trained in New York. We both trained at Gleason's gym. I mean, it's just some fighters I wanted to fight that, you know, they wouldn't give it to me or, you know, whatever. But I mean, don't get me. I respect Buddy McGirt. He's a hell of a fighter. But it's just some guys you just wanted to fight.
Yeah, he was a heck of a fighter. I learned a lot from him. I got really good boxing. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And but when you think about him as a trainer with Arturo Gotti, man, like, you know, he stopped him. You know, he would go in there, live the fight. It looked like the way he hugged him or he jumped in the ring a couple times.
He's smart.
He stopped the fight because he cared about his fighter.
That's right. And that's the name of the game, because you don't want to get your fighter get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you're a good coach, because you knew when to stop your fight. You knew when to stop it.
I couldn't believe that they were saying that Mark Breland had no right to that. I couldn't believe that. I was like,
Mark Breland did.
I think Deontay Wilder should thank.
He would have got hurt. He could
have been killed behind that. I didn't really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, one punch, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And those referees, I don't believe the referee would let them take that thing without that. But
yeah.
So, but that's good. Deontay Wilder, another fight coming up. You got what's my man Crawford got a fight coming up.
Crawford fighting
Porter. Crawford fighting Porter. Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight.
But Porter, Porter is he comes at you. He's a hell of a fighter. He comes at you, but Crawford is just.
He is a beast. I gotta give you that.
He's his technique. You know, I mean, he picks you apart. You know, and what, he's a southpaw, right?
Yeah, and
I hate southpaw. You a southpaw. I hate southpaw.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's not talk about me and you no more, all right? Because I'm about to get in shape and call you down here like Rocky did with Paulo Green.
You don't want that.
Nobody else, no crowd.
You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that.
I need a month. I need a month. 6 weeks.
Month.
All right. Okay, 2 months. but listen. Yeah, I think that Porter still. I don't count him out.
Crawford you can't count nobody out.
Porter is always in there. He always has a chance.
And that's the thing. He's in shape.
He
comes to fight. Mm-hmm. But I just think Crawford just have that slickness in him. I mean, his jab is smooth. I mean, he moves upper body good and stuff. I mean, you know, it's going to be a good fight. I know that.
What about Earl? What about Earl Smith?
Oh, God,
I mean, he got into
to that car accident.
Yeah, he got Rebecca. What do you think about him and Crawford prior to that accident? What do you think? That'd have been a good one.
That would have been a good one. Yes, that would have been a good fight. I mean, who would I throw one? I mean, I that's a toss up right there. That's a toss because they both young, they both good, and they both smart. They both smart in that ring, and that's the name of the game. You know. Yeah. I mean, but see, boxing is not like it was when we fought. When we was fighting, we came to fight. You know, it wasn't no take your time and pick this person apart. You came in there and you threw punches. You threw punches.
Yeah. Well, you know, there was some slick boxers that.
No, it was. It was.
I always liked Sugar Ray Leonard fighting.
Oh yeah.
You know, I always liked Sugar Ray Leonard.
Well,
he was a heck of a.
Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Marvin Hagler though.
I was getting ready to say, but when you talk about the fight, to come to the fight like that, I was gonna say that was the Marvin Hagler style.
Yes, sir.
So like,
I love Marvin Hagler.
Sugar actually got the decision. So I agree with you that I think Hagler might have won the decision, but they gave it to Leonard. But so we're not judges. You know,
Right, yeah,
judges.
we
We're
are.
not judges.
Yo,
So-
but
so-
we're
so-
fighters, though. Remember that. We're fighters.
And we was, you know, I was a Hagler fan. You know, he's from Newark.
And I
from
was a
North New
Hagler
Jersey.
fan, too.
So that's why I felt that way. But I also, it was a toss-up for me. You know.
Yeah.
So today's fight is different than fighters, man. You know, you got a lot of guys up and coming, man. We got Shakur Stevens, another New Jersey fighter. He's fighting in Atlanta, coming up real soon, which is good. You know, I'm gonna make sure I see that he's doing really well.
Well, I think the fighters now. I think they have to fight a little bit more. I mean, they not banging and they staying on the outside. They boxing. Where I love aggressive fight. I love aggressive fight. I love a fighter
most people do.
Yeah, I love aggressive fight, and that's the type of fights I like to see.
What was the fighter? What was the fighter said? I don't care what the, as long as I get the W, it don't matter what I look like. Everybody want to see me fight a lot. I think that's what they was talking about Floyd Mayweather back in the day. You know, give him a bad fight, he don't care, as long as he win.
As long as he wins,
As he win, that's all that matter. I don't care what y'all thinking about. You
But
know,
I should make a comeback.
you just come back. Listen, man, I'm so happy you doing good with your life. I'm so happy that God been blessing you, man.
I'm satisfied.
You're
I'm
looking
really
good,
satisfied.
sounding good. Your family is good. Your kids is good, man. You're making me appreciate my own life, and my children is doing well. My family is doing well,
and that's the important
and I feel
part.
like that's
the
great,
important
you know?
part. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my life, and hey, I don't have no worries.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
have
there
no
was
worries.
there was a point in my life, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, that I thought, man, without boxing, I might as well just roll over and die somewhere, man. And I really meant it, like, you know. So I really feel good that I didn't just give up, and that God showed me another way to be able to do some things. Man.
Right. I respect that.
And I'm hoping that all fighters are able to, they can set something up where we can kind of go through the fighting thing, but learn that we're more than just boxers. You know what I mean? Or just all we could do. We could commentate. We could manage. We could do so many other things. We could train. You know, we could write books. We could do so much.
You're absolutely right. And that's why I love training kids, because I felt that I was given a gift, and now it's my turn to give somebody else a gift and help somebody else. So I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy my life. Hey, I can't ask for nothing more.
And I spoke to the commissioner not too long ago. He said the same thing. He said, I hadn't worked in 30 or 40 years, you know, and he said that, meaning that if you love what you do, it ain't even work.
Right.
You know? Okay, one more time, man, to say thank you again, bro. I appreciate you. You don't know how much, and I hope we can sit and do this again one day.
Anytime.
Pleasure.
Anytime.
It's been real.
That's right.